Hiya, and welcome back to Cleaved, the game that teaches us that the best method to learn about who we are is to ever so casually, get kidnapped by a handsome fox, and then and then talk to a goat. Why am I laughing? Anyways, let's just hop right in. That sounds promising. Do you know which books you used for it? I'm sorry, it was so long ago that I can't really recall the exact one. I try not to let my disappointment show.
The game that teaches us going with random strangers is the best way to learn about stuff
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Get kidnapped by a fox and talk to a goat. Cleavage the game. I try not to let my disappointment show, but I hold on to the little optimism I have left, provided the goat is successful. I'll need to check my study first, see what I have on hand. Bryn, they have you staying in the castle right now, do they not? Yeah, the king has me staying in one of the private rooms. It's got books upon books in there. I will be right back. And I'm back. Yeah, I already read that. The one with the studies? Damn, he is putting you up. I see. I am familiar with those rooms, as I once spent my summers in them. That particular area of the castle is very close to the library. Some of the older council had actually kept my work for research purposes. I'd say it's more than likely you can still find it there. So if you don't have any luck finding the information here, you'd be the only one with the free reign to get into the library and find my books. Fraser, keep the human in your back pocket for now. If I have anything for him, I'll be relying on you to relay that information to him. I feel invigorated now that I have an action plan to return home with. I watch as the goat walks over to the bar. He takes a seat and starts chatting with the horse I'd seen before. Before me and Fraser have a moment, the door to the tavern opens and a hooded fellow walks in. You might want to get him back, Fraser. The riot's about to be under control. Oh, fuck. Fraser nods at the mysterious stranger and waits for him to pass by before looking over to me. Damn, I thought would have had more time. Come on, I better get you back for Calder tries to come and find you. Not wanting to waste time, I shout across the bar to the goat, thanking him for his hospitality and efforts to help me. It's Sexy Fox! I quickly stand with the fox and we rush out the door. We lift our hoods once again to blend in. And this is how we die. That is a good question. We return through the same tunnel, and after a bit of sneaking, we're able to make it back into the alleyway where he initially found me. I am not planning on sticking around long. Yeah, you probably should take off. Wouldn't want to risk you getting caught. I'm sure you're smart enough to come up with something, but try not to dawdle on getting that library access. Yeah, I'll think of something. Take care of yourself, Bryn. I'll check back in a few days. As Fraser bids me farewell and runs away, I leave the alleyway and walk down a little to Sauma's tailor. I look around and see that the coast is clear, so I take that moment to stand in front of the shop, waiting for time to pass. So long before I hear a series of heavy footsteps approaching me. Bryn! I turn in the direction of the voice and see Calder dash over, with gear not too far behind him. There you are. I'm sorry if I gave you both a scare. Damn right! We came back here a little while ago, and imagine our surprise when we questioned Sauma and found out you never came back. Thinking on my feet, I come up with an explanation. I tell him the actual roadway to get back to the tailors was closed off by the guards, and we were trying to ensure no more protesters could slip by and make it worse. There's an alleyway just a short walk away from here. It was walled off, and I wasn't bothered the entire time I was there. That, and I figured it would be safer than wandering the streets. He sighs, but I think my explanation was convincing enough. Yes, nipples. Yeah, you missed a goat. Okay, next time explain to the guards your situation and that you're acting on direct orders from myself. If they give you any trouble, just show them that crest that Sauma stitched onto your clothing. Keeping a stoic appearance, Gear lets out a slight cough to indicate he is still there. Calder looks at him and the two exchange a nod, reminding themselves of what the next steps were. Bryn?
Sorry, I was having some good fun with some sneaky fox and his dick was this big.
Bryn, I hope you've had a pleasant day, but after the things we've had to deal with, we're ready to call it and get some much-needed rest. We'll be returning to the castle now. Right behind you. Our second attempt at returning home went much better than our previous, with no interruptions or distractions. We arrive at the castle gate just as the sun is setting, awaiting the gates to rise up and allow us entry. As we stepped inside, Gear walks back to the depot and leaves his spear behind. He then escorts me and his fellow wolf back to my room. Yeah, I think they know. We all step inside and I remove my cloak, hanging it up on an adjacent wall hanger. The two wolves look beat, and I can only imagine that they must have had some serious roughhousing while trying to stop the ongoing fights. Bryn, I'm going to suggest that you try your best at getting some sleep. Gear here will be in the early morning to collect you and escort you to Heim's residence. You'll probably have quite a lot in store for you tomorrow once we've had a chance to tour the facility. You got it. Honestly, I know I probably didn't get up to half as much as what you guys got entangled with, but I am absolutely shattered. Couldn't stop myself from letting out a yawn, and like clockwork, the others soon join me. Calder then stretches and makes his way out of the door. Good night, Bryn. I'm going to take a trip to the baths before I go to bed. You fancy joining me, Gear? As he says that, he's already begun walking down toward the hallway. I think I'm gonna have to keep a much closer eye on you, human. And you do best to remember that. He takes his helmet off so that he can look me straight in the eyes. After getting a nervous gulp out of me, he gives me a small smile. He then turns and begins to follow after the large wolf. Okay then, right behind you, your highness. Ah! With those two now officially gone, I close the door. I need to figure out how I can get access to that library. And Calder mentioned those books in the study. What if one just happens to go missing, one that I want to read? That should be reason enough to visit the library. Ah, fuck. After all, who'd deprive a scholar of their right to knowledge? No, we don't get to see the wolf bodies. I'm sorry. All we have right now is wolf nipple. Why the fuck did I say it like that? As I pace around the room, I trip over some furniture I failed to notice before and fall to the floor. Ugh! Damn it! With a new angle, I take another look around my room. My eyes settle on the vast sets of cupboards that I could potentially hide the book within. No, that's just stupid, Bryn. If someone checks this room and finds it, it'll only raise suspicion. As I look away, my head falls back and I focus on one of the windows overlooking the back end of the castle. I can't just toss it out the window. Someone could easily find and return it. I don't want to imagine what kind of questions they'd ask. I sigh as I slowly sit up, my pride still sore from the fall. However, it's quickly forgotten as my eyes settle to the mantle, a light bulb going off in mind. Upon arriving in this room, I failed to notice the fireplace that decorated living area, and sat slightly above it was a piece of flint and a striker. I rush upstairs to grab one of the books out of the private study. Oh, fuck, are we going to light a book on fire? As I inspect the shelf, I see it holds many kinds of books, including one anthology. I slide out the third volume of the set and rush back downstairs and toss it into the fireplace. Wait, are we? Once I do, I swipe the kit and strike the flint until a spark goes off, quickly setting the dried wood alight. Yeah, that should be enough. Satisfied, I step away from the fire and sprawl out on the settee behind me. Once I find a comfortable position, it doesn't take long before I'm fast asleep. Are we lighting a book on fire? As the night passes, I'm awoken from my slumber by the sounds of knocking on my door. I get up and walk over to it, and find that standing outside is the ever-loyal guard, Gear. I open the door and allow him to step in. He walks right past me and sets a tray of food down on the counter. He takes a second to lift off his mask, and I watch him chuck it over to a nearby table. Before you freak out, we have got time for you to get ready. I'm only here to make sure that you're prepared. and at Calder's insistence, bring you some breakfast. He makes his way over to the couch and takes a seat. I look over at the counter and see that today's breakfast consists of bread and some sliced cooked meats. With me being in the mood for a sandwich, I head over to it and begin to craft one. Take it over to the free chair and sit down to eat. He looks over and nods approvingly at the style to which I have chosen to eat my breakfast, and we sit in a comfortable silence until I've finished. It's just always giving the side eye. Sorry if I'm causing you any unnecessary running around. Can't imagine it's the most entertaining thing in the world to do. It certainly isn't the worst fate imaginable. At least by watching you, I actually have a chance to stay home for once. Oh yeah? Heard you were away on a mission. I take it that's something that happens very frequently? Every other week with how everything's gone tits up. What are these missions like? Just because I'm early doesn't mean we have all the time in the world. You might want to consider taking a shower before we rush off to Himes. Okay. I sense it's something he doesn't want to discuss with me, so I agree to his advice and quickly head upstairs to get clean. Before I knew it, I was redressed and out the door with the soldier, heading down towards the castle gate. We end up walking in silence. I can tell that yesterday he was only as expressive as he was due to Calder's presence. The walk itself was a perfect example for me to see the truly stoic side of gear, where I learned firsthand that the mask being down means complete focus. As we finally make our way through the busy city streets, with the occasional citizens gawking at my appearance, I'm taken to a much quieter strip of road. We stroll past most of the houses before finally setting our sights on a long building at the back of the strip. As we finally get down there, Gear escorts me to the door and gives it a modest knock. Not long after, Heim opens the door for us. You're on time. Good, Gear. Thank you for ensuring that. He simply nods and stands at the side to allow me to walk inside. I'll signal you when to return to pick up the human. Dismissed. Okay. As the door closes, Heim soon approaches me. How about we start with the tour? Sounds like a perfect idea to me. When do we start? Because if I have any say, I would love to look at how you managed to produce an energy source that powers the lighting. How about I start with something a little more bold? Hey, yo! He instructs me to stand with him on a viewing platform. Looking out from it, I see a divot in the flooring. In it sits a wooden marvel of a boat. Its unique painting and metallic embezzlements did much to catch my eye. Frode, we're testing the ship again! As he says this, the boat behind him begins to shake violently. After everything I've seen, I find it surprising that this would be more interesting than medieval society with an energy source. Yeah. My thoughts, however, are immediately blown to the back of my mind. What I presume to be shields on the other side of the boat shifts, and the outer circle begins to glow blue. It slowly but surely lifts into the air. We're gonna be a useless main character. Gonna be just like Chase Hunter. I rub my eyes furiously, baffled by what I'm seeing. Where I have a chance to question it, Heim steps over rather smugly. Oh? Oh, shit. It's that, but we are not done yet. Hell yeah! Now, for the second one. The one where we went with Frazier. If it's all the same, then I'll just delete this save. Yeah, if it's all the same, then I'll just delete this save. Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to look like it's all the same. I know. What is my option? Yeah. Skip is just... It's disabled unless we've already seen the text. And it looks like we've already seen the text. So it looks like it's all the same. Yeah, it's all the same. Sad. I know. It's so sad. Yeah, it looks like nothing changes, so I'm just gonna... Shoop. Womp. I'm trying to think of something to do because I don't want to just, you know, leave it as it is. How do you delete saves? Well, I'm on desktop, so I can just hit the delete key. Yet still an amazing visual novel. Trying to think what I have on my computer that we could do for an extra stream. Because obviously I want to do an extra stream. We didn't finish the Halloween event for Rain Check. You know what? We're gonna do the Halloween. Heroes Advent updates tomorrow, so, we're actually going to read the Halloween special. We're gonna read the Halloween special. Undefeated. I'll have to put that on my rate. I'll have to look into it. Anyways, stick around if you want to see the, Rain Check Halloween special. If not, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.